some holes in the hinges for the bed. So here we're back making the hinge, and I had to cut this bolts off this thing because it was totally rusty. Get that out of there. I still got to take this garbage off here, and then this thing goes in like that and gets bolted through those two holes. But you can see there's interference from this bracket they used to bolt the box on previously. And there's the rod there that's going to come through the components of the hinge. And there's the components of the hinge. And then if we come over to this side, there's the hinge all done and the two pieces welded in place and the rod going through it. So I'm going to cut the back of this bottom edge off here where that tape is. And that's not going to be the trailer hitch anymore. I'm going to put a trailer hitch that extends off the original frame right there. So there we go, we got that bottom cut off. There used to be a bar in there with a trailer hitch on it, but there's a trailer hitch right there from the original frame. And then there's some pockets right here, and this rack goes here. I'm going to drill a hole in there, weld a nut on there, make a bolt so it goes in there, and it holds this from popping out if you hit bumps or anything. Then there's another pocket there, and a pocket there, and then I just drilled a hole through here and put a piece of threaded rod in there with a couple nuts, and that holds that together. So there we go, we have a rack on there with 3 pockets, and it's good and sturdy. Doesn't rattle or anything, fits nice and tight. And then I'll put another post right here and put the gate along the back here. So this bed was bent, so it was bowed like that, and there's a big space at the back, and it was tight at the front. So what I did is when I made these pockets wider, I took the mini grinder and cut it, and I put the jack under it here so I could lift the bed up. And now this gap is tighter at the top and wider at the bottom. So now I'm going to weld that, and hopefully it'll stay in place. Okay, so Tom, here we go. You said you wanted a fold down side. Here you go, buddy. And then what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to put a piece of pipe welded onto the door and put another piece of pipe welded onto the post, and then I'll take a piece of pin like this and I'll make it so that it drops through, hanging on a little chain so it can dangle. You never lose the pin, and that'll hold this corner of the box together. So this post here wasn't perfectly straight up and down, so I had to put a little pie cut in it and then re-weld it. And there's your side. And I welded the back side of the hinge and the front side of the other side of the hinge. So yeah, that works out pretty good. So here's a cross member I welded onto it's got like triangle and 2 pieces of angle iron inside, and then triangle on the top. And then I'm making this cardboard template here that's going to weld in, and there's going to be a perch for the bottom of the cylinder on this plate, and then that's the other end where it's going to bolt up to the bottom of the box. I'm going to put some kind of a platform in there to bolt that onto. So yeah, so here's my cardboard template, and then I have to make this thing lift up to the bottom of that line right there. Make it a little bit longer on both sides. So that's the vent hole, and that's the hole for the fluid to go into. I got this all done here. This is all captivated. So there we got some corner posts welded in the corner. Got a nice gap in between there. I cut these pockets out and welded them in for your racks on the top. There's 3 of them. And then I put these little tabs on the side, so if you ever have a job where you got to stretch a tarp over top and you need a place to hook bungee cords in, I put 4 of those on the side. So here we go, we got like a tarp reel, and I welded a piece of pipe on the top here, and this pipe rotates inside it. I'm going to put a little plastic bearing inside there and drill a hole and put a grease fitting in it. And I got a detachable handle here. I used an old like, 1/2-inch extension and cut it and welded it onto the handle. So you just plug that in there and crank your tarp up, and then you can take it back off and throw it inside the door of the truck. So I had to modify the hinges so that the door would open and swing out so that it goes up against the side of the truck. So I had to put these fancy extensions in here so that now you can tie the doors back and swing it shut. And then this one hits against that one. And then there's a hole right here that I have to fill. I think I'm just going to weld another piece of material in there onto one of the doors. And then that'll be a nice solid place to drill the hole in the deck to put that big pin, and then that latch that I got there, that red latch right there under the vice grips. Yeah, got the wood in. And I got some paint on the inside edge of the wood and the inside edge of the angle iron before I put it together. And that's the new hinge. Put a space in there. Okay, so we got the doors on. We got the latch on. We got this situated here. That unhooks. That spins back like that. Got a little pin here. Swings open. Swings open. And goes, back pretty far that you can latch it. Like this here, I'm going to modify this a little bit more here. I got to take a little bit out of the hinge here and reinforce the face side. Once you take it out one spot, you want to reinforce the other face. And then this side over here, it swings back past all the garbage, and that closes back pretty far. So you close this one first. Push that up there like that. Put that up against that. Hook that in like that. Latch that. Set this in the hole, and then just push on it till the pin goes in. There we go. And that's it. So we got one coat of paint on the inside walls, the mesh on the back window, the inner and outer, and both sides of the back doors are painted. The latch is installed, the pins installed. And all I need to basically do now is install the cylinder to the bottom of the bed and add a hose to the power pack under the hood and hook it to the batteries. And this will dump. So I left this bar in the middle right here because I thought that would be good if I could make a ramp that hooks into that bar. And then you could take wheelbarrows if you're removing garbage from a tear out or something. You can drive the wheelbarrow right up into the back of the truck. That way you don't need to use a digger for some jobs. You know, you can do stuff a little bit by hand because it's a smaller job, but you got a ramp. So I think that would be good to make a ramp and then just have it tuck in underneath and lock in or something. So you always have your ramp with your bed. Okay.
Okay, take two.
Alright, it's up now. It's down. And up it goes. Now you hear that gurgling? That's because the reservoir is not holding enough fluid to fill the cylinder, so I have to put a piggyback cylinder on the reservoir so we can hold more fluid. Here's it going down. Here's it going up. Now obviously it'll go a lot higher. So here's the tilt of the box, Tom. That's all the way out, that's as high as it goes. So that's a good tilt. I think that should do it. And there's the cylinder all extended all the way out. So the pump works if you touch this wire to ground and power the green one there and that one with the knot in it. That makes the power pack go up. So here we go. Touch this wire. A little low on fluid still, I see. Just kind of gurgling. So I think we should put more fluid in it. Let's do that. Okay, let's try this again. I got lots of fluid in it now. I'm gonna touch this wire to ground. So I'll have a switch that'll make that click and then we'll go up. See if it gurgles now. That's it. As soon as she bottoms out there and you hear that sound, that's as high as she goes. So there we go. Alright, so don't need my shirt on there anymore. It's not leaking anymore. So when I first, it must have had fluid in the cylinder and it came out here. That's where a vent has to go. A little cap with a little hole in it to let the air out. And now we will make it drop down. So we need to power up, put power to these two wires, ground to one and power to the other. So let's do that. But there it is going down. It's Still got to grind off a bit of rust here on the front of the box and put some paint on that. And I just cut those stupid brackets off because I use them to bolt to that spot there. But that's basically it. That's down. So I'm going to have to get a switch going here to get this sorted so that you can power up and click solenoid and power down. Maybe a little bit of oil on those things might help, but definitely it's a very light box. So that's the reason why. And the cylinder's heavy and it's moving a lot of fluid. So, but if there was weight in there, you know, then it would go down. And once it gets to a certain point, when it's going down, it goes down by itself. So I got a new door rubber because this one here's all screwed up. I got that on the go. And then I got the pendant control hooked up. Here's the pendant. And that's out. That means up. So you push that up. And that makes the box go up. And this makes it go down. In is down. Here's the power pack right here. You can hear the motor run. And then I put the reservoir right above the rad support right there, and it fits under the hood right there. So that works really good. And there's a new battery right here. So that's all she wrote as far as that goes, as far as the lift goes. So I got some tires to go on, and I got a little spot on this rocker on this side to go. And then I got the what I forgot about was the exhaust manifold bolt. Apparently the manifold leaks down there, so I have to see what I can do with these bolts if they're broke off. That might be a real nightmare. I'm gonna have to lay across this motor and get at those bolts down there. Those bolts are kind of nasty looking. So we'll see what happens. This exhaust manifold bolt was broke off flush to the exhaust manifold. So luckily I was able to weld a blob on the end of it and join a bolt to it so I could back it out. And after heating it a couple times and trying it a couple times, it finally came out. Thank God, because the exhaust leak is gone. So I got the rocker all welded, got a piece of stainless steel put in. Had to do a rocker all the way to the back. There it is right there all the way along. So I just got to put a little Bondo on it or some caulking or something. You know, it's like I just want to get it certified. I mean, I can put paint on all this and Bondo and all that and make it look real good, but these guys are in a hurry, so. And it's just a work truck. So there's a long enough cord on it that you can like stand outside the truck and operate it. Right, so that's cool. So here's how fast it goes up. It's got lots of fluid now. It's not gurgling or anything. And you just keep going up. Until it bottoms out. When you hear that, then that's when it's done. And you pull down on the switch. It goes up faster and it goes down. It's nice and quiet. And that's it. And then, you know, you can have this tucked into the fender right there. You won't hurt the cord because it's rubber. You know, open it up, you swing the cord over the door, and then you can just tuck it in the box right here, and then close the door. and you're good. And the cord comes up under here and goes inside the door. So the dumper's all certified and got racks on it now and put a ladder on it. It's working for the boys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.